us know what's happening here. And unfortunately, there is an apparatus designed to suppress all of this information that the public should know. What are the motivations behind it? We can only surmise. As you can see, we're not going to get any answers on this.
Want to bet? I think that we will do our best. It's time to go live with George Floyd. I love it. Just be human. Just, right? Will it hurt? It's
For once in your life, Steve.
just be human. Although guys like us, they only show up when they stand to profit. George the Greek, thank you for being here, sir. It looks like it's raining down there.
Good morning. It was. I think we're good for now. Perfect timing.
Okay, good. What is it that's been going on here? I know we saw the technical difficulties. Are there any updates today on the ground, or are we having an idea as to how things are looking? Are they going to be releasing the rest of this manifesto?
Right. So they're going to wrap up today, and ultimately, I've seen most of the case at this point, and I don't think they're going to release it. What the case is focusing on is this open public investigation from the police. They're claiming, vis-a-vis an affidavit, hey, we're still investigating this case, and the judge seems very deferential.
Claiborne, hey, someone.
They're giving a projected end date of July 1st of this year for the investigation, and the judge is kind of like saying, like, hey, if they're going to be done soon, why not just wait? She's afraid. She calls herself, she goes, I don't want to become the investigator, and decide when it ends.
Right, so the police department is running an ongoing investigation. That's what they're claiming? Okay. Is this the same police department who...
Yeah, unfortunately, though, they're not charging anybody.
The mayor... They didn't know if they could verify whether it was questioning the investigative capabilities down there in Nashville.
Absolutely, it's the same one, and unfortunately, the law it would allow this, except they should be actually charging somebody. They're not. Shooter's dead, or contemplating charges. They've made no such indication. All they put in their affidavit is, during our ongoing investigation, maybe we'll find another accomplice, and based on that, it's going well. I think maybe we'd be crossing the line if we decided that it should end. And that I think that's a problem, because you're basically creating a loophole now where anytime, for whatever political reasons, you want to suppress information, you could just say, well, open investigation, sorry. And I don't think that's helpful to anybody.
No, and certainly if we're talking about the issue of accomplices, right? We saw this in Chippewa Falls. Wouldn't they be able to prove that they have either detained or contained, made the school safer if they're concerned about accomplices? Because if I'm a parent, I certainly would be concerned if someone had been influenced by this radical ideology and this person who killed 7 people, 6.
Absolutely correct. And who's to check them when they make these claims? Obviously, it must be a court. This would be that court. And to just be so deferential on something like this, I feel is a mistake. But I think that's the way the judges. Let's not forget that the FBI uses these manifestos to train local police on what to look for. They use them to basically diagnose.
Did stream die? No, I'm still here.
Proactive about them. And why wouldn't that also extend to the public doing the same analysis?
Yeah, that's a very good point. Did you have a question there, Mr.?
The initial one wouldn't start, so I had to restart it. Why is there another one that's showing?
Which can also become December 1st, which could become 2025, right? Because I'm
going to switch away from the Wi-Fi, though.
So why doesn't the judge put a timeline on it? Say, look, how long has it been since the shooting? It's over a year.
Right.
I really, where is this being put on the priority list? Like, it's frustrating. So can a judge put a date on it, a date certain, and also satisfy that kind of, I don't want to become the investigator here, and say they can't just keep pushing it off into the future?
Absolutely. I think the judge can certainly do that. And if there's any question about a potential accomplice, that could be redacted. The motivation here is the primary thing we need to know. And there's no reason that those two things should be conflated. So even in the worst case scenario, show us a redacted version. Leave the motivation in, leave the information the public needs to know.
So something else that stands out at me here too is Mr. Leatherwood, where he said, these parents have to relive it. Let this whatever he said, go by the wayside, let the issue die or something. Let them continue in peace. If there's an ongoing investigation, wouldn't they be on an ongoing basis interviewing, asking questions of the parents and those surrounding the investigation? Wouldn't that
We're
be
here
far
for you
more
there,
basic
buddy.
than someone releasing withheld information as to
You
the
need
motivation of
anything,
the
you know how to
crime?
reach out to me.
Absolutely correct.
Texting is the
this
best thing to
where
do, though.
I think the
Just letting you
argument
know.
really should fall apart. The whole scene,
375,
seems
wow.
to be pretextual. They just want to make an excuse to keep it and drag it out as long as possible, probably to get it out of the public eye. You know how fickle people are with the news and how quickly it comes and goes. Thankfully, though, we're still keeping the story alive. And, thanks to people like us at Mug Club, it's not going to go anywhere.
There's the
Look
Greek
at it.
I know and love.
Hey.
All right, Georgie, thank you very much. Stay safe. We appreciate it. We'll check back in with him later. George, Greek, everybody. And of course, if you're out there, you can join for $89 annually, or right now, actually $20 manifesto promo code.
We're not going to let this thing drop either. We're going to continue to keep the pressure on.
I gotta get these windows. I'm gonna top off my
Well, because we see so often with the news.
streaming for you now.
people
Yeah,
tell you,
it's been
"Hey, look,
working.
we have it," and then they don't act like a dog in a bone. Which is
Yeah, when I initially went to start it, it said initiation failure, and then I just hit start. You go live again, and it started. So I don't know if it registered another one. Probably I'll just have to delete it from the studio.
These same things in the future.
happens sometimes.
Autocenter.com/mugclub. I think it's $20.
Usually it's when I'm using Prism.
Watch it, just click right there on Rumble, because
Don't be gay.
stop it.
I didn't say
It's a great deal. $20 off. It's a great deal.
Yes, Toolman, I have
That would make
something
it
in Spanish.
What?
What's Dejero?
Pajero?
Oh,
Because I have George on my screen, and then it just went to black. It says Dejero. Does anyone know what Dejero means?
that's our field unit that we were using.
Oh, okay. So I'm trying to talk and I'm getting distracted because it's like
I'm
Dejero,
sorry.
Dejero.
It's Giorno.
Oh, no.
Close.
It's delivery. Almost tricked you. So, on Mug Club, click that
no
button, and we're about to play Bad Movie Lines. A trailer really quickly with a 1961 classic called Reptilicus? Reptilicus.
Reptilicus.
From all corners of the earth, they gather to study the mystifying frozen fossil, a reptilian tail that grows into a giant of terror. It's alive! It's loose! Reptilicus, a monstrous, massive beast whose astounding appearance causes panic. Reptilicus approaching the city. Repeat, Reptilicus approaching the city. This is Grayson. All units.
Damn, 375. We're gonna have $4 gas in a couple weeks. Back to $4 again. All right, let me get some gas. I'm gonna leave the power on in here. Open the window.
I didn't have to pee, but now I kind of do.
Go.
No, I don't.
Always the noise.
Oh,
Hold it down.
it's the noise. The noise makes you.
Oh, yeah.
Really does. It's not a Pavlovian response. I didn't like have a dog thing where I salivated. It's science. I'm just saying I'm not going to apply it widely to urination as well as feeding.
I saw him sell.
I'm here to annoy you most of the time.
Fair. This Gerald C. knows when to shut up.
He does.
Always.
He has that stupid look on his face.
He does. He's a little
Any
smart.
hole will do. How did they do a one-off? Don't you have to usually do that, be like printing in bulk?
It was incredibly expensive.
Did you guys ship these around the country to people?
It was not cost effective at all. I'm not gonna lie to you.
gross, Gerald. No, but that's a great idea, Gerald. CrowderShop.com right now.
Yep.
Enter to win a free flicker if you order Gerald C dolls.
What's the promo code for this doll, huh?
When he's gone to CEO, the finances just go to crap.
It's on the material. It's not
Yeah, you
They
can
didn't print out a
just take that
picture
home
of
with
me?
you.
I shouldn't show them. They didn't print out a picture of me.
Yes.
Also, by the way, I need you to approve the expense report where I have a water slide for my office.
It's also ineffective. Look, there's.
That slide's nice.
You say any hole will do. There's no holes.
Well, we didn't want to be disrespectful, Gerald.
They have to make holes.
What? You're doing it right. All right. Ah! It's time to play. Rouse! Bad movie lines, Marco. Okay, we probably won't be able to get to as many chats today, if any, but we'll make up tomorrow for Chat Thursday, so we'll do a lot.
Sorry, Chad. My bad.
I know we went a little bit late here today, so give us a synopsis of the film there, Toby.
All right, synopsis of the film.
Reptilicus.
After copper miners discover a piece of frozen tail of a giant prehistoric reptile in Lapland.
Lapland?
Okay.
That's where we got the vlog, though.
Yeah.
What?
No tail.
So in Lapland, scientists inadvertently bring it back to life. That's the premise of the movie.
They got a piece of tail.
So,
Reptilicus.
In Lapland,
so it is a Godzilla knockoff.
tongue-in-cheek corner.
All right. All right, let's go to the first one.
First clip.
Father just received a telegram at home. I thought it was important, so I brought it right over.
Oh,
It's from that Spain, from Lapland.
oh, it's
Found more bones about 600 meters away. He is bringing them here. He arrives in 1 hour. Pick it up, dear. No. He has 3 eyes and a false mustache. Hurry now. I don't want him to wait.
She's gonna see him.
so only he is
Please
dubbed?
don't frighten that young man. You know she is really quite dangerous. But don't worry. I'll go along as your chaperone.
Threesome.
Poor guy.
Otto, I envy that young man.
That man's neck is not normal. It's like it's shaped like a toothbrush with a backward curve.
I didn't even notice.
Bizarre. Bizarre. Can you rewind it at all? Rewind it
yes,
all. Look
sir.
at the guys. Look at the shape of the guy's neck and the way his face goes forward. It's
Oh,
the guy on the right. As they walk off, look at the guy on the right.
Oh, whoa. Whoa.
What is happening?
It's like Dana Carvey in that turtle movie.
Yes.
That's the neck.
Look when he turns. Look at the
Oh my
profile.
God.
Look at the profile.
I envy that young man.
All right.
Because he has a normal neck.
Yes. All right.
That's not one of the options.
Dang, I would have guessed
How
that.
does Professor Otto respond?
He says yes, he will be busy now.
Oh, we gotta hit the ding. Is it
Ding.
A?
Yes, he will be busy now. B, that young man better keep his hands off my daughter if he knows what's good for him. Or C, interesting, it's the young ladies that I envy.
Oh man, I hope this reptilian pervert wants to see, but
The one guy is dubbed, but I always wonder when you watch those movies, did people talk that way in real life? Like,
The Cagney,
well, like the woman who's talking like this, it's going to be wonderful. But she'd go home and like, I told you, I took the pregnancy test, it came back with 2 blue lines. I don't know what we're going to do. We can't afford this child. Like, how do they talk?
now that's nonsense, Martha. Let's go back to your room.
I have a note from production here. So apparently they filmed this in Danish and English with the same actors, but they still dubbed over some of the actors speaking English. Now, my question to all of this is, you thought this was good enough to put in 2 languages
Yeah,
for 2 audiences to see?
2 markets are better than
That's
1.
not true.
It's also weird that it's like, okay, we know America is the #1 market. Yes. What's the next one? Denmark.
This is shortly after World War II, yes? Yeah. They want to go to movies that suck?
We wanted Norway, but turns out they're very particular with their films. Denmark's the way to go. That's the new front. I have no idea. All right,
Curious.
so, yes, you will be busy now.
What area code
I don't know. What do you
is
think?
620? Where's that at?
Only because I think it's...
I'll show you why I'm
See,
asking.
interesting. It's the young ladies I envy. It's the young ladies I envy.
Well, you know what? That would make sense because they are old and horny. Josh.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with B just based on his previous 3 eyes and mustache.
El Portillo,
Statement. Yeah, B.
Main
There's
Street.
no D. I have a crick in my neck.
El Portillo Locks.com.
boy.
I'll say I will say I think it's C because I think that's
Straight up look like cartel members. But I guess cartel probably don't advertise inside of their
All right, let's see.
their
the
Escalade.
The answer is.
With my daughter.
Yes. Well, you know, if it's a scratch, if no one wins, then I get the point.
Didn't you?
Right.
I thought you picked answer A, no?
No, I picked C.
Oh, with Gerald?
Yeah, I did.
Oh.
Google, what area code is 620?
On the website openphone.com, they say, area code 620 covers southern Kansas, not including the Wichita metropolitan area.
That's
Its
weird.
main city is Hutchinson, Kansas.
Hmm.
If you head to Hutchinson, you'll be among the 40,006 residents of this area code's biggest town. To find out more, look for the link in your Google Home or Google Assistant app.
Good
I'm
shit.
Reptilicus! No, I'm Reptilicus!
All right, Corey
It
Booker.
was the C.
Look at them clouds.
They're not even all
No
shooting
worries.
the same-
They don't
Something
have any cover.
just to drive to work. I'll scream for help if I need it.
Oh, that's got us.
Yeah, that's it.
That was quick.
All right, the question is, what does
Race.
Grace.
All right.
Answer A, they'll use those black flamethrowers if they know what's good for them. B, they can't use flamethrowers now that Reptilicus has entered the city center. Or C, they report they can't use flamethrowers. Can't get closer because of the acid slime.
Oh, wow. None of these are good.
Well, it's flamethrower related, so you
It's
know that.
flamethrower related. He said negative and didn't immediately provide an explanation. So now I understand. But he should have just said, like, no, we can't use those. They won't work.
Negative.
You know,
I
just like,
thought it was negative that they were ineffective. He's like, use the flamethrowers, negative flamethrowers. I'm like, well, that was fast. Somebody responded very quickly.
no, he just said negative. And you should have heard through the radio, why?
Continue.
Yeah.
Like, you've been
Hold on, let
don't
me
you
do
have
this.
to, like,
Well, we don't use flamethrowers. It's against the Geneva Convention.
Yeah,
so.
Well, you know what? They should have kept that one in. There are certain times
I
where
don't-
it makes some sense.
I don't know if the Geneva Convention applies to Reptilicus.
It doesn't.
No,
No.
there was no Reptilicus represented at Geneva.
No, exactly. It's an underrepresented group.
That
Reptilici?
Reptilicus has a debit card from the
Oh,
city of New York.
The problem is Reptilicus only has Diners Club. It's accepted.
Dinos Club.
That's why he's pissed off in the city.
I don't think it's A, just because I guessed on the last one that I guess the answer that said if they know what's good for them, and I don't think they're going to say that because it's twice, unless they're tricking me.
Well, they're bad writers,
Bad, right?
so they could.
It could have been, yeah, but city center is like a. Wouldn't they say downtown? I don't know. I'm gonna go acid. Number C, letter C.
I was going
Acid
to
slime.
say I picked C, so Joe that's basically different. And the reason why is because it's such lazy writing, the dialogue, where they're like, oh, I forgot to tell them about the acid slime.
That's what I feel like it's a plot point they're trying to fill in.
We should just fix it with this line of dialogue, with Sven. Great.
I think it's B because of city center.
Okay.
That's kind of writing that surely penetrates the danger.
It seems European. City center with the R
Does.
or the E.
Exactly. I win, you lose. Ever was it thus?
I don't. What?
We don't know the answer yet, Gerald. Ever was it us?
The worst part is I think that's probably correct. It wasn't us. All right, speak English, young man. All right, give us the answer.
All right, the answer is.
They report they can't use the flamethrowers. They can't use those because of the acid.
Yeah, baby! There's that acid slime.
It's like Nickelodeon.
Yeah, Teen Choice Awards, Reptilicus wins all.
Reptilicus, you can't do that on television.
He's also a pedophile.
Yes.
So, Reptilicus.
Acid slime. Oh, gosh. Well,
Is he producer on Drake and Josh?
Yeah, apparently.
it was the Amanda Show. All right.
All right, last question set up for the scene. Gerald Grayson has one option left.
How did I lose that?
Yeah.
A rocket launcher equipped with a sleeping drug that will take the monster down.
Well, hold on a second. It's a rocket launcher with a sleeping drug? Do they mean?
Yeah, that's their last option.
Yeah.
Wow. So they mean like a really ineffective tranquilizer.
I wonder if they only have one word.
You know what? I'm willing to bet they do. So they have to make a counter.
Yeah. All right. Here's the scene.
In position.
Oh, no, that's a... There we go.
I think you can make it on that lane, dude. Go ahead, go ahead.
Back glass area clear. Shoot it. Oh, that's an accurate shot.
Good
Wow.
night, sweet Reptilicus.
Shoot!
Right to the throat like a Ricola.
Reptilicus!
It's almost...
So stupid.
All right, we can just walk away now, boys. Walk away.
I love how he's like walking away suspiciously. A hunter checks his kill. He's like, good enough for me.
You do it.
You guys check it.
Yes, let's send the ladies to check. This is a job for ladies with pointy bras. Uh-oh. This spells trouble for the conquerors of Reptilicus.
He's coming back. It was just a nap aid. Oh, the
Fountains have turned back.
Okay. What does General Grayson say to Lot?
Lees.
Lees?
Lees.
Lees? Okay. A. So after all that, you don't think he deserves, the general deserves a kiss?
Oh.
No, you messed that one up. So
I messed
after all
that
that, don't you think the general deserves a
Don't you
kiss?
think?
Yeah. That's less salty.
All right. B. It's a good thing that there's no more like him. Or C. That confounded beast will stay down if he knows what's good for him.
Okay.
Ah, what's good for him? I think they're getting me here. I think that the
Whoa.
crew out there.
Go ahead, dude. Mr.
They did
Volvo.
the city center thing with me. They got me on that. Yep.
No, but they've said good. What's good for him? They've said it 3 times.
True.
All 3 times, not the answer.
So far.
Well, 2 times, not the answer.
I am going to say, look, I'm going to go first just because I...
Swedish market.
Reptilicus is working. What? It's Slimen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Slimen.
Well, it worked.
Slimen, Horky, Horky.
I want to see this this general get a kiss from a woman that's totally out of his league.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the answer too.
But I have to go with my gut here.
Ah.
Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. Fool me can't get fooled again.
I can't get fooled again.
As George Bush said.
Yes.
I'm going to go with C.
I'm going to go with C. All right. I like your logic. I like you showing your work. Also, it's very clear to me that they tried to make this guy up to look like Telly Savalas.
I don't know what that is.
Kojak.
That is. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Kojak is a great series, by the way.
I'll take your word for
It
it.
is a good series. If you go back and watch it, he also was in the
No,
original
I know, but
Westworld film, which Terminator completely copied. People don't realize.
Scale is like one of Hogan's zeros.
Hey! he's just the good, the bad, and he's just ugly.
The ugly man.
Yes, exactly.
All right, Gerald. Hey.
We'll go with A. I mean, you know, it's got to be weird.
I hope he kisses, but I don't
I don't think you should get the kiss. I think you should say it, and she should like laugh and walk.
I hope he gets a kiss and then just right to her pointy bra. He goes,
Why would you?
That's the sound they make, by the way. It's a perfect impression of a
It's not
balloon.
bad.
and then he looks at the camera and says, "It's good to be general." Mentos, the freshman.
Mentos back in the 60s? What?
Reptilicus, it's to you, staying fresh, staying cool, with General Vicious for our life.
How do you remember that song? That's awesome.
Reptilicus kills himself because now he's...
It's because we wrote a series of like 9 Mentos parody commercials.
Oh, I know, I
We
saw
filmed
them.
quite a few, and they turned out too dark, so we need to
I
revise them.
heard.
a little bit...
Yeah, they were pretty rough. All right, you said A.
I said A.
I said the B because it sets up the sequel. Let's
I said C.
land this plane.
All right.
It's a good thing. There's no
Answer
more
B.
like him.
Or is there?
Ah, man, I for sure thought that wasn't the answer. And you got me. The crew got me.
No worries.
Fooled me 3 times.
They're
I don't
good.
even know what to say.
They're good liars, which should worry me. Just for the insurance, insurance claims. All right. Of course. So we added up. I have 3. You have 1. Gerald has 0.
Literally.
I mean,
I didn't get screwed this time. I just actually
I
lost.
came close.
you all. I mean, you've never
No,
been screwed.
that's not true.
Hey. I don't
Said a
make
child.
I don't make the rules. I just call them. But it's very clear that again, champion. It's like my 2-year run of Uno. You guys all know that. This has been Bad Movie Nights.
Watching the Watcher comes out in 4 minutes.
That guy looks like your dad.
He died. Told you.
People have said
Yeah.
that.
Every time I see it, I go, "Oh, Darren's on the show."
He's gonna hate us.
I love you, Dad.
For this.
Sorry, Nick. What Noodles gave you some
Said they made like a comic book out of this.
Reptilicus?
It's gonna be raining here too. Look at the clouds.
Comic series, but thought the name Reptilicus was too stupid.
It is.
It's supposed to blow over though by the evening.
Oh,
I like Raptosaurus Manor.
what are they? They had after they produced and released an entire film to Denmark and the United States. They had a conclave. Like, this is too stupid.
Yes. Where were you? Where were you when we were releasing the
Infinite
frogs?
For the comic book market, we needed to be more highbrow.
Reptilicus.
Sounds like the dinosaur from Rugrats. Reptar.
Reptar. That's right.
Reptar.
Or sounds like one that could be like from the Flintstones. You know, where the dinosaurs doing a job. Like maybe that lady's. Yes, exactly. Like pointy bra. You know, would be, I don't know, something like a pterodactyl with its wings. Like,
Yes.
like the pterodactyl would find out like she stuffs her bra. I'd be like, this job sucks. Something like that. You know, I don't know. Didn't we?
That's what the show would do. Yeah.
Oh, Flintstones. All right. Did you say you had some answers for Gerald or something like that? Didn't you ask some questions
Well,
earlier?
I'd asked some questions about how much people were paid in the Mexican League, as it's called. Diablos. El Diablos.
And make sure this is...
Got them joints a throbbing?
Exchange to a U.S. currency.
Yeah, I get it.
No pesos.
So they said he'll get more for being a star, but he would theoretically be paid about $1,935 for the 5 games that he's doing. Mexican players make about $12,000 a month. Also,
That's actually not bad for them. How many months is their season? If it's like 1 month, then maybe that's not so bad. That's not so bad.
also he's right now asking the MLB minimum plus incentives to come back. So
Wow.
Totally reasonable. Totally reasonable. The guy he's humbled himself.
So he went $100 million with the Dodgers to league minimum plus incentives, even though he hasn't gotten any worse as a pitcher. He was just falsely maligned.
He's made almost $10,000 in those 5 games, Steve, and that's nothing to it's Mexico. So
Yes.
that goes a lot
It
further.
does go a long way.
He would argue that he's gotten better too, by the way. I'm sure.
I'm sure
His
he's probably
career's gone
has.
he started in the league in 2012. He was drafted in 2011, third overall. 2012 first season. Since then, his numbers have gone up mostly.
Well, and I know you said Japan has a lot of great players.
Yeah, like 4 signed in the U.S. this year.
A lot of great sex offenders go to Japan to play baseball.
Yeah, well, they
Or accused.
Yeah, they don't care. They just make a comic book out of it.
Yes.
And I would imagine in Mexico, the level of play is lower than obviously in MLB. And
There's MLB players on that team with him.
well, I'm sure there are some, but I mean, overall, it's probably not as challenging as playing in Major League Baseball. I would
I
imagine.
make that argument.
Right?
Yeah, because the
think
good
it's
ones are in the
easy
MLB.
argument.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I ask that because sometimes people think when you play a sport, you need to play with the best always, and that's what improves you. And that's not exactly true. You need a good mix. And actually, there was a guy named Hodrick Gracie who was the best Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner ever. And when you talk about there's gi, no gi, the uniform, he used a basic white belt technique, cross collar choke. When he won world championships at black belt. It's one of the first things you learn. And I want to say he used it on like 4 or 5 opponents. He submitted everybody. And the reason he got so good was because he was in London or somewhere in England, I believe London. And they hadn't really planted any kind of flags there in London. He was the only black belt. And so he was training exclusively with white belts and beginners. But he said it improved him because it gave him more room to experiment. Whereas I had to find new ways to challenge myself because their skill level. So he would basically say, I'm only going to perfect this technique this week since I have an unfair advantage. I'm only going to, and he perfected the basics by training with people who weren't at his level. And I'm not saying that's all you should do, but there is value in that. Where I wonder if maybe it might be just what the doctor ordered, where he's going, you know what? If I'm here, I don't think this guy's as good. There's less risk. Let me experiment. Let me work on something that maybe I'm not known for.
We're switching over to watching the
It's definitely a place
Watchers.
to play in Mexico. The high altitude.
Altitude.
What the hell? The high altitude.
Altitude, no pitching.
NBC and elsewhere. Streets yesterday, right? So we saw some of that after the trial. As we were going through the trial activities, Trump made a little bit of a detour, made around to a bodega.
Bodega.
A bodega is what Jill Biden called it. I do have that pulled up. I'm pretty sure.
I think he's just
Here
been sarcastic.
is Jill. Remember her, the Bogota and the breakfast tacos from the Hispanics of America. The Hispanic breakfast tacos. So here was Jill.
Diversity of this community, as distinct as the Bogotas of the Bronx, as beautiful as the blossoms of Miami, and as unique as the breakfast tacos here in San Antonio, is your strength.
Bogotas. Okay, so make sure we're pronouncing it right. Bogota. It would not be bodega, right? No, it's definitely not a bodega. All right, so anyways, here's the story. Okay, Trump went out to a bodega, or a Bogota, whatever you want to call it. And then you can see how people look at this guy. Here's a nice photograph from Big Fish. He says, this tells you how much Trump means to him. Look at this photograph, right? You know, look at that guy. Oh my God, Trump is right here. Holy crap. That kid's like, it's Trump, man. Holy moly. And you don't normally get that with Joe Biden. In fact, Joe Biden's more concerned with the children. And here's Joe walking around with the kids. You know, they seem a little bit like, you know, they're kind of forced to be there. Here's what that looked like. Our president. Why are they putting all these kids with him? Where are the parents? Where are the parents? So are they walking him? I think they're walking the president. They were walking him around. This way.
Taking him for a stroll.
Let us show you where you're going. And yeah, good comment on that one, Rocky Water. Says, hey, tuck in that gut there, Mr. President. Yeah, button that up on that second button there, buddy boy. A little too much ice cream poking out there, Joe. Come on, tighten it up. His face. He has no idea where he is. Whoa! Where am I? Where are we going? These kids like, we're going to show you to your desk where we're going to have ice cream. These kids. Put these kids in charge. They'll solve a lot more problems. All right, so they're having fun, isn't it? Where he is. All right, there he is. He's walking back down. All right, so I'm just making fun of the president this morning, as per usual. But Trump was out there, and here is what that sounded like. So he was out there for quite a bit at the bodega, and he was at a bodega. My understanding was there was somebody, you know, wrongfully charged with defending their property against a violent attacker. But this is what it seemed like. This is what the scene was like outside after trial in New York. I was there for about 15 minutes. We'll listen to a little bit of it, just kind of get the vibe of what was going on there. You hear some crowd chants in the background. It's always interesting to watch the Secret Service. How nervous everyone is. All right, so here comes Trump. You can see there's the gentleman and his son walking out. Is that Walt? Is that Walt Nada? I think that might be Walt Nada, a co-defendant in the classified documents case. No, it's not Walt. My bad, not Walt. Loud crowd.
This is a very exciting time for me because the bodegas, the association invited
Bogotas, Mr. President.
I respect them and they respect me. They want law and order. They have a lot of crime, tremendous crime when their stores are being robbed. And as you know, we're going to give New York a very good shot for the presidency. We think we should be able to do it. A lot of things have changed. Lee Zeldin did a beautiful job. He ran, he lost by a little bit. And New York's a lot different. And we'll work with the mayor, and we'll work with the governor, and we'll bring in a lot of federal money, but we have to straighten out New York, and that includes crime. And these guys have great people, great friends, but they have tremendous crime, so we got to straighten it out. They heard 78% think it's a rigged deal.
Yeah.
It is a rigged deal. It's a rigged.
Yeah, he's actually got a point about that. I have a poll pulled up on that, so let's finish this thought and then we'll jump over.
Trial on courts. Everything is screwed up in New York, and the whole world is watching. This judge is so conflicted. You understand that. You'll take a look at that. There's never been a judge so conflicted as this. It's ridiculous. And also, there's no crime. You know where the crime is? In the bodegas, where they come and rob them every week. Or more than that.
More than that, he says. Yes, more than that. More than every week. He's like, yeah, it's like a couple times a week, you know, Mondays, Fridays. People come in on Saturdays sometimes too for a little robbery. Honey, we're out of eggs. Oh, no problem, honey. I'll go to the Bogota and just rob some more. Right back. All right, so that is Trump. Now we'll come back. We'll listen to a little bit more of that. But here's, I think, the poll that he was referencing, saying only 1 in 3 U.S. adults think that Trump acted illegally in New York. The question is this case going to matter at all? Maybe, maybe not. We have others saying that it will. This is from this guy called Noah Rothman over at National Review. So, for what it's worth, he said Donald Trump's trial will matter, right? So we're kind of a back and forth. Now, 1/3, that's kind of a big deal. Like if 1/3 of, you know, let's say, how do you split that? It's probably 3 out of 3 on Democrats, 0 out of 3 on the right. It's 1 in 3 out of independents. That's not good. Right, so we don't want that. But here's what the latest is. Polls from recently. Poll shows the first criminal trial against Trump is also the one in which Americans are least convinced he committed a crime. It's ridiculous. First criminal trial facing Trump also one where few people think there's actually a problem. Only about 1/3 of U.S. adults say Trump did something illegal, while close to half did say he did something illegal in the other 3 criminal cases bringing against him. And they're fairly skeptical that Trump is getting a fair shake from the prosecutors in this case. Good call, Erica. Or that the judge and the jurors can be impartial in cases involving him, obviously. Still, half of Americans would consider Trump unfit to serve if he's convicted of falsified business documents, right? So, yeah, and that's a big number, right? It's a pretty big number. While New York jury will decide the fate of Trump, the poll suggests a conviction could hurt Trump's campaign. Trump enters a rematch with Joe as the first presumptive nominee. Trump's made prosecution is the centerpiece of his defense and blah, blah, blah. Now, consistent with the polls, the new poll found that about half of Americans say Trump did something about illegal with classified docs, something illegal in Georgia, and something illegal basically on J6 in the attempt to win the election, so-called.
And half of the people polled are Democrats, so they all think that.
That he falsified records against Michael Cohen. You know the backstory. All right, so that's there. Now, this other piece was from this guy at National Review, and I thought I had this pulled up appropriately. Let's see what his take was. And he wrote that in surveys of uncommitted voters ahead of Trump's criminal trials, persuadable voters seemingly are convinced of 2 contradictory assertions, 2 things pulling against them. First, Trump's pursuers are obsessed
Big old
with
bug
Trump
gut there.
getting something to stick. That's true. Bragg, Fannie, Jack Smith. It's very obvious. They timed them all for the election season. But for the most part, the polls have been consistent. If he's convicted, regardless of the legitimacy of the charges, they say that's at least enough to dissuade them from pulling the trigger on the polls. On the Bragg prosecution specifically, a March Ipsos poll sponsored by Politico showed that the majority of independent voters and even 14% of Republicans joined the vast majority of Democrats in their view that Trump was guilty of the alleged crimes. If convicted, poll shows 36% of independents, right? Those are kind of the numbers we want. And 9% of Republicans would rethink their support. So that squishy middle that gets moved around.
What comments?
Who are, is willing to be peeled off if this is the
What do you
case.
mean?
And, you've got other
maybe I missed some context.
Black swan event, cyber attack, terrorist attack, nuclear war. Who knows what's going on? But does it matter? Will it matter? Who knows?
Anybody that's fair.
Damn, these bugs.
I'll let you know
Hear 'em hitting?
after the trial, depending on that. Because don't forget, we're appealing. There shouldn't be a judge. If you look and you take a look around, a good strong look, every legal scholar, every legal pundit said there should be no trial. There was nothing done wrong.
And it's not just legal pundits and scholars. It was Cyrus Vance, it was the Southern District of New York, and it was Alvin Bragg, by the way. before he actually charged it when Matthew Colangelo came down and made him do it.
This is all politics. This is coming out of the White House. And, you know, it makes me campaign locally, and that's okay.
I don't know. Is it on live? Mine's on live. I'm on live, Chad, I think. Yeah. I don't know. YouTube's acting up, maybe. Let me go ahead. Run up to the back of that truck. Feel better? Dumbass. Yeah, right now there's only one person blocked on this channel. It's not you guys, that's for sure.
Other cities do it. This city, I love this city. It has gotten so bad for the
Hey,
last
Michael.
4 years. And we're gonna straighten New York out. So running for president, we're putting a big hit on New York. I think we can win New York. With 500,000 migrants that poured in and take over the parks, they took over your hotels, they take over everything.
This guy.
And you know what they've done?
Right on the fucking bumper of that truck.
So many people, the African American community now is not getting jobs. Migrants are taking their jobs.
It's on your end,
Hispanics are not getting jobs.
Usually if I just refresh it and wait for the chat to pop back up.
Unemployment is for migrants now. It went up 10%, all migrants. And they're in our country.
We'll go to live. I've noticed YouTube loads really slow on the browser now. I don't know if it's the computer I'm using or what. But.
Jails and prisons, mental institutions, and insane asylum. And you have massive
Right in our backyard.
all because of Biden. And by the way, this trial that I have now, that's a Biden trial. They want to keep me off the campaign trail. But based on what I'm doing, I think there's more press here than there is if I went out to some nice location.
All right, so yeah, he sounds good. He looks good. He's obviously there trying to figure out how he can do two things at once. If they're going to anchor him down in trial so that he cannot campaign, so that Joe Biden can get out there and crack jokes about him, then he's going to try to contest. And we'll see where the campaign goes from here. Trump's pretty good at this stuff, right? Trump can organize a good, energetic event, however he does that. So we'll continue to watch that, of course. Now, here's Joe Biden. So just by contrast, by way of contrast, that was Trump. And here was Joe, this was yesterday, talking about the deficit. And let's see how his capability is behind the podium.
I've already cut the federal deficit.
What?
All the stuff they talk about what we've done. And I'm going to be self-serving a little bit. Every objective alternative points out we've had the most successful economy of any major economy in the world so far. A lot more to do. But guess what? During the whole time, I've been able to cut the federal deficit at the same exact time.
What?
For over $1 trillion. I've already cut the...
What?
Is that true? I thought we were like going up like $1 trillion every like 100 days.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem accurate to me. But he's deluded, so he's just making up his own
Demented.
stuff. Here's another one. This is from our friend Amuse. He's a good follow over on X. And he is sharing this. This is Joe Biden.
Demented
so Trump was out
pedo.
talking with the media, answering questions. What do you got? 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 Here's Joe.
One day I showed up at All Fair Convention, and I was in the motel, after the local motel, getting changed after the afternoon session, go back to the evening session. I'd come down with some young activist, a little older than me, but still a young activist, who
a little older,
involved in trying to reform the party. And I was in one of those 8x10 bathrooms, they have shower, toilet, and a sink. And I got a towel on me and shaving cream, and I hear bam, bam, bam on the door, really loudly. And wonder what the hell is that? I thought it was this guy coming in on a radio show and a couple of the guys. So I said, okay, guys. And I walked to the door and opened up, and standing there,
he sounds like
was the former governor of the state of Delaware, Albert N. Carville, a big guy, about 6'5", talked at you like he is. And the state representative who got defeated 4 years earlier, that's a Democratic state rep who was retired, and one of the from the family that had more.
Okay, we can't listen to it anymore. He sounds like he's on the verge of death, like he's just about to just go. It's just like, okay, just get out there and just tell one of your stories, Joe. Just get out there and tell one of your stories. I don't even know what he's talking about. So, all right, that's our president telling stories about, I guess, giant people banging on his door when he's hanging out with young activists in showers, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah.
All right. So that's him. Now, yesterday there was some interesting things happening. We saw that the House delivered over the articles of impeachment, and this is taking place right now I think in C-SPAN. There's a House session, yes, and senators are now being sworn in as jurors this morning for Mayorkas's impeachment. We just heard Trump talking about the border, obviously a pretty big issue here, and this was the scene yesterday when House impeachment.
Yeah, but you can bring them back. It just depends on how often you're,
the Mayorkas impeachment,
you're
which will
posting
certainly die in
stuff.
the Senate, but we'll go watch
How
the
active you
spectacle.
are.
But here's
You
what
got to
it looked
stay
like
active. You give it.
in this somber.
I lose about
This
10
was
subs if I don't
yes,
broadcast like 3 days in a row.
Very dramatic. Walking those articles over. Yeah, I mean they look normal. They're not like overselling it here. Remember when the Democrats did it? They had like a slow pace. Was there like a box they were all touching, like a funeral or something? Like surrounding the cherished documents, the articles of impeachment. And remember Nancy Pelosi was out. This was a somber day. Historic somber day. We didn't want to do this, but we had to. Oh, they're just walking like normal, yeah. Looks pretty standard. All right. Is there going to be anything exciting in this clip? Just walking. There's Marjorie. Andy Biggs. Okay, walk him in. Walk him in. All right. Mayorkas getting impeached. All right, let's see what they're doing over there in the Senate now.
We should impose a warrant requirement on U.S. person queries.
What's this one?
Let me again be clear.
Oh, the trial begins at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So about 40 minutes from now.
Would do grave damage.
I might even bring that up on the live.
If we get warrants.
The FBI and other agencies have relied on U.S. person queries of Section 702.
La Rata!
Enumerated earlier to prevent terrorist attacks, investigate cyber attacks, prevent assassination plots, and disrupt narcotics trafficking. Many of these successes would not have been possible if the government.
Ooh, live catch on locals too.
A warrant for U.S. person queries.
Yeah, so Democrats want more spying now as well. Pretty impressive, isn't it? All right, my friends, let's say hello. Let's see who is here and in the House.
Well, I agree, but they're more together than the Republicans, that's for sure.
And
look at this idiot.
Talking about,
look at this
sounds like
fucking
they're talking
idiot.
About extending FISA over there on C-SPAN. So there was a lot of stuff cooking this morning. We had the defense.
Instead of just pulling forward and continuing down the road,
budget.
She pulled back into her driveway.
We're talking about some J6
wow.
stuff. There were some Supreme Court oral arguments today. Whistleblower testifying on Boeing today. So just a lot of activity, which is good. Keep our eye on what's cooking over there.
It must have been Biden driving.
Happening, but who's joining us, my friends? How is the Wednesday unfolding on our break from trial day? Recovering from.
The dude was taking
activities.
pictures of what's in the back of that pickup
Let's see
truck.
who's here. What's up, Londo's in the house? Zach Nichols says, "Good senator, you got jokes this morning."
Get
Good
that vitamin
senator,
D.
You got jokes this morning.
Oh yeah,
And I got a
Jared.
great clip.
Does your
Josh
skies
Hawley
look like
yesterday.
this though?
Obliterated Jennifer Granholm.
Supposed to get warm today.
Great, a lot of fun. We got
70s.
this one from this old guy. What's up, this old guy? Says, Republicans should have just had a DoorDash guy deliver the Mayorkas impeachment to the Senate. Yeah. Although DoorDash is pretty expensive these days, you know. You got to tip them a bunch, and it's expensive. Although it's the government, so you're right. They probably would have given him $1 million tip. You know. Yeah. There's going to be a lot of them. A lot of impeachments, I'm sure. What's up, Becca? Says, how common is it that the judge makes the day off Wednesday rather than Friday? Any way to audit that? Good question. I don't know. I don't know if that's just his schedule or what. It seems a little bit weird. Kind of, I would not be happy about that. I'd rather have the Fridays off. It feels kind of weird to impede your momentum, you know.
Yeah, it's mostly cloudy here right now.
This old guy, good to see. Thank you for the dono in the house. We got some others on the day. Hey, and what's up, Tyler? Been a member for 2 months over on the tubes. Whoa! Thank you, Tyler. Member for 2 months says thanks for everything. Been watching since November 2020, man. That is a long time. It's like basically the beginning. COVID, man. That's when this whole thing started. COVID, watching the Watchers Live was born. COVID birth. But we're here. We made it. Thank you, Tyler. Went through some stuff, man. Been through some serious stuff. Travel agent Amy says, where is CPS with the kid with the Biden kids? I don't know. CPS, they might be endorsing that, enabling that.
Yeah. CPS is the biggest child trafficking
Mondo,
organization in the world.
Clip too. Man, you guys are on top of it.
And then the Catholic Church.
Clip, and I got a Josh Hawley clip. Here's one from Glocky, quoting Plato, saying the price good men pay for indifference to public affairs is to be ruled by evil men. Yeah, this is a great quote. That's a great quote from Plato. And I think this is absolutely true, which is why I kind of get irritated with the sports bros and all the politics of stupid bros. You know, there's a lot of people out there who I've talked to, like, how can you get so involved in politics? It's just it's so toxic. And I'm like, yeah, it is. It'd be less toxic if you participated in it. We have to indulge all the toxicity because a huge portion of the country is just kind of asleep at the wheel. If we had a more active, involved citizenry who cared about their liberty, then they would be upset when it was robbed from them if they understood it and they integrated their concept of liberty. But they just, you know, many people, obviously not us here, I'm like talking to the wrong crowd here, obviously we're here like highly engaged, like way engaged. But it's people delegating their responsibility to be familiar with liberty and their own governance. They're just delegating it, deferring it away. They love that, man. The tyrants love that crap. Yeah, have more porn, more beer, more drugs, have more Taylor, whatever her name is, and her boyfriend, and more football, and just get fat all the time. Just get fat. And just go to your job, kind of, you know, taper your expectations. It's okay if everything's going up. The economy
sounds like my life right now.
You know, Ford stuff, you're fine. Everything's fine. We're gonna take care of you. It's like, gosh. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, there's going to be a bifurcation on this. There's going to be a huge portion of people that are in alignment with us, you know, with the same values that we have here, very interested in our governance. And there'll be moments where that separates, right? Where there'll be a decoupling there. Those people who want other people to rule them will get their wish, and the people that don't want to be ruled by other people will get their wish. And we're on that journey now. It's a great quote. Great quote, Blocky. In fact, I'm going to save that one.
Yeah, Android Auto does that to me sometimes. I have to switch the audio to like Cirrus and then back to the what I'm watching.
It's necessary for people to try and do nothing. Like, just do nothing. You will succeed, and that's all you need.
There's definitely something going on with YouTube. Even on my own devices when I'm watching people. I try and watch as much on
all right, what's up? Hey, Tyler.
Rumble and Locals as possible anymore, though.
First super chat asking for
really,
Rob's opinion on Biden
YouTube's my last resort.
President-elect back in November.
Which end up watching still a lot of YouTube because, you know.
What was the question? What was my take on it?
Shitty as it is, it's still one of the better platforms. Not very conducive to small creators, though.
That take time to tell, asking because I had an attorney one time and he was very.
I get just as many views on Rumble, just nobody gets in the chat though.
Some great court stories. You know, it's like not one of those. Like I don't have like a Rolodex of them.
We're gonna run this. We're gonna run this. Red fuck.
Yeah, I've got some good stories for sure. They kind of come up. I try to intersperse them when we come up when they pop up.
Yeah, I watch every time I get a notification.
I was in a lot of courtrooms around Arizona, man.
I'll
Saw a
give
lot
you
of
that
stuff,
view.
A lot of wild clients, a lot of wild judges, wild prosecutors. Drama. And screamed at, basically like spittled on by clients. It's just fun. What's up, Glocky? Good stuff. Glocky says, I'm on the fence about Trump now. I get he's been through a lot, but if he doesn't give the judge and the court in New York City the finger, which would be, violation of the law, which we can't endorse here, or judicial order, and he dares them to do something, then Trump will never change the system. The whole world sees what this is, and if Trump plays along, this country needs a revolution to fix it. Trump needs to be that spark to start it. Yeah, I mean, we, here we're in favor of peaceful, petitioning of your government for the redress of grievances and following the law and following court orders and being in total compliance with the law. But I understand your perspective on that, Glocky. I understand that it feels like it's not justice. And I think what you're talking about is a bigger pattern that we're going to be seeing spread throughout the rest of the system. If the system is illegitimate, then what happens if people just stop engaging with it is really the question that you're bringing up. And there will be repercussions for that, right? I think we would basically be in a constitutional crisis if Trump did that. And it would be, there would be a lot of consequences to that, like really big consequences. Because we would now have the system versus, it would be very complex. And I don't know if it would serve Trump at the moment. He probably considered it. What if he just says, I don't comply? It's probably not going to be good for him politically. And then they'll just say he's insurrecting the country again. They'll just charge him again, right? So it might give the deep state another excuse to double down on him. I think he might, kind of the only way out is through. So it's to go through it. It's to become a little bit of a martyr. Say, look what they're doing to me. Watch, right? Watch this. And I think that will rally a lot of people, but more in terms of a sympathetic response rather than an aggressive response. But I understand your perspective. Yeah, I understand your perspective on that. But again, we're always encouraging peaceful, law-abiding activities, and of course, speaking out is our First Amendment right. That's what we're doing here. Good to see you, Glocky. We got that one from Glocky. Another one from Glocky says, Barr came out and said he's voting for Trump because Biden is destroying America. Yet Barr didn't help Trump in 2020 like a Democrat AG would help a Democrat president. You're right about that. Bill Barr is an institutionalist, and Trump is an anti-institutionalist. So the institutionalists are always going to side with their institutions against Trump. All day. All day. This old guy says Republicans should have just had the DoorDash guy deliver the Mayorkas impeachment. Right, get it there faster too. Husky Mom, good morning, everyone. I'm in the home stretch. 4 more weeks till I become a Watching the Watchers baby.
Come on.
Yeah, that baby wants to come out. It's like, let me out of here. Good to see you, Husky Mom. Thank you for being here for so long, 9 months, right around the corner. And NY says the president we need can multitask. Notice that. Well, Trump doesn't have children walking him around. Over here, Mr. President. Yeah, Selrin says in Tim's school video today, he's saying Trump should defy the judge, go to SCOTUS hearing, as the crime he's charged with has been made up by the DA. What would happen if he did? Well, that's what I'm saying. So then the judge would issue an order to show cause, or actually just hold him in contempt right there and issue an arrest warrant for him. So if we want to go down that road, we can. But it's going to be bad. I think what that would ultimately lead to is...
Well, boring is subjective. I mean, to what's boring to you may not be to other people. I mean,
the justice system.
Me driving around is pretty fucking boring.
Like, you at least have to show up. So first of all, they would charge him with another crime.
Most people take these down as soon as they're done. I leave them up just because I got nothing to hide, and you lose your watch hours if you take them down.
Then we would have to practically debate that. Okay, so Trump is not going to appear to quash the warrant. His attorneys would have to go make.
If I do it as much as possible while I'm driving, even though I do have a dash cam, I've also got right instant to the cloud streaming of my driving.
Why would he buckle? He's got the backing
If I drove shitty as fuck, I probably wouldn't do this. But I drive like a grandpa.
So then Trump will be an interstate fugitive.
Generally not more than 10% over the speed limit.
Issue an arrest warrant.
Cruise control set most of the time.
Compact. This is just the mechanics, and they'll apply. And I'm not like happy about this possibility, but I'm just saying what they would do.
And you never know what you might run into that needs to be streamed.
So then I would issue an arrest warrant. There would be an interstate. We have an interstate compact, which means states communicate amongst themselves about arrest warrants. So Trump may be confined back to Florida if DeSantis would.
And I just try and bring content together at the desktop, different things that I like to see that sometimes people like to see, people drop links. I mean, that shit's not the best. It's, many would say boring.
I don't know what that does to his flight capabilities, right?
But that combined with a little bit of getting out there every once in a while and doing a little cop watch or whatnot, it's got me over 600 now.
Then gonna, ground him.
I never started doing this to make money, that's for sure. I've put a lot more money into this than
it might sound like
I've ever gotten out.
It would be emotionally satisfying.
It's fun. It's a hobby.
I think it would cause him a lot more problems. I don't know that it would energize the electorate. I think the independents would see all of that happening and go, "Oh no, he's insurrecting again." Right? The FBI might, investigate him again. They might hit him with a bunch of new crimes. They might.
I love driving through forests.
We're not going to let this guy. We're not going to let a person with an open arrest warrant, become the president. So they would come up with whatever they could. So then, unless SCOTUS steps in, unless the Supreme Court steps in and quashes the warrant and settles everybody down, dad's home kind of a thing, then we have a real constitutional crisis at hand. Now, the opposite of that is to, drag Trump through the coals, expose these people for who they are, right? Like the bullies, nobody likes the bullies. Everybody disdains the bullies. So Trump goes through here. It's David versus Goliath. Trump's going up there. They're martyring him, essentially. And he just takes it and shows up with a good smile every day and just exposes this, keeps speaking about it. That's the smarter play politically and legally. And it's almost humiliating, to have to kind of grovel to this crap. I get it totally, but I think it's the smarter play. Unless I still think it's a smarter play. Now, if he orders Trump to be taken into custody or something like that, right? If Trump says something and he says you're going into custody.
Yeah, I love it too. That's why I hang out in Callahan's all the time. Whoops.
Trump posts something. This judge
I do too.
Issues an arrest or something.
Got my Soprano shirt on today.
Morning or something. that could be a whole different ball game. But make the judge.
For sure. If it's boring,
make the judge do it.
Why are you here?
Make the judge. Come out.
All right, I'm gonna try and definitely get a live going today from the desktop. I'm gonna try and do more during the day than at night. These things are getting kind of weird at night. I'm just gonna use my body cam at night, but I may come tonight or get on tonight. For sure, I'm gonna try and do the live stream. Main channel, inDOCtriNATION Live. Thank you guys for hanging out with me and keeping me safe. I love you. Peace.
I don't know. Let's see what you guys say about it.